I'm gonna say that's about a $15,000 range.
From the high to the low, we're talking $30,000 difference.
Jesus. Now, that's okay. Now you just sprung for the pool.
Yes,
so it's not like
of course. And I was like, of course. I just sprung for a pool, and of course this has to
It's
happen.
not like the certain saving account is like necessarily like over.
Yeah, it's not
cup
overflowing. It's not as plush as was January of 2019.
Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that this show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
I am Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Once again, or for the very first time.
Oh, that is true. How are the cans, Cerny? How are the cans?
They're
good?
They're good.
Okay. Speaking of cans, the beer we're drinking came out of a rather large one. Did you see the girth on this?
It was the Great American Challenge.
Crowler. A 32-ounce crowler from a Crowl. I've never heard of a
can growler.
Yeah, it is. It's half a growler, 32 ounces.
Oh, yes, you're right.
And this is from Adobe Creek here in Novato. We've spoke very highly of them before.
Yes, we have.
It's been a Slice IPA.
It's hazy, which, as we've stated in the past, is our new go-to.
You might like this brewery because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hazy IPAs out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 out of 12 beers.
So 50%.
50% hazies, including two doubles.
So we can do math, unlike our previous podcast tells us.
Let's get a little sip-ski
right,
of this. Let's take a sip of the Slice.
Yep.
Ooh.
Nice and smooth. Oh, yes.
I'm getting a lot of citrus on that one.
I am, and I'm loving it.
Which here I have show notes. This is a hazy IPA brewed with loads of wheat, oat malt, and then generously hopped in the kettle. Roll, pull, and dry hopped with Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado hops.
Oh.
ABV 6.8%.
Oh.
This does remind me a lot of the terp sauce that we had from there, which apparently they don't have anymore, or maybe it was like more of a seasonal one. But
I do enjoy it.
This.
The hazies right now, I'm loving them.
I went to Denver recently, and I went to a sour hazy bar. They only had sours and hazies.
What?
I was like, wow. I was like, this is. I had some wild, and they also I have seen around too. They have one here, where they put lactose, in the beer, and it kind of gives it that like real milky look.
Okay. I didn't.
They have one here. I can't find it now. Oh yeah, sour.
Mm-hmm.
The Sour Sickle kettle sour ale with peaches, vanilla, and lactose. Kettle soured with peaches, vanilla, and lactose. So it has a little bit of like if you took, in your regular pint glass and you maybe took 2 tablespoons of milk, like it has a look like that to it. But anyway,
interesting.
Well. The beer's cold.
It is cold.
The house here is comfortable. This is
very comfortable.
What do we have the temperature set at? I bet my Nest could tell me. What would you, Cerny, finger to the wind, lick a finger? What do you think? What do you think you got?
72.
Ooh, you might be. I think I have it going to 74. 74.
Oh, that's off.
Now, to pull the veil back a little bit. Chip and Cern, we alternate where we record the shows,
yes.
so
we're in Studio West.
We're in Studio West today, which we ran it back to back.
Yes.
And the reason for that
is Studio East has a little AC problem.
Little?
AC is kaput.
Oh. So Cerny's the studio, which the actual studio where the recording happens, didn't have AC before.
No.
What do you think the temperature in Studio East would be right now?
Right now.
Late into the evening. It's dark out.
I'll pull it up and I'll let you know.
Now, Cerny's been telling us temperatures inside of his house this past... How long has this thing been out for? Like 4 or 5 days?
So upstairs in the hallway, not into the room,
okay,
it's 85 degrees.
And, I mean, I got to assume that you have all...
Windows
you got
open.
everything open.
Everything is open.
So how is it so hot still?
During the day it
just
heats up like it just heats up. So
man.
On Sunday, roughly, it was probably like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was downstairs and I was like, damn, it's kind of warm in here. And
kinda.
At that point in time, because it was still so I was like, it's kind of warm in here. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife was like, well, I have it set to
and you're not going to, it's not like you're running this thing into the 60s. You keep your house 78
78,
yeah, okay, I was going to say.
It's a battle, but I try to go lower, but
I know.
78 is where it's at.
Yeah.
And I was
it's like a compromised temperature.
Yeah, usually when she does at least go 77.
Yeah.
Double sevens. So she's like, I have it set to 78, and I look at the Nest and it says 83. And I was like, it's at 83. She's like, huh. Uh-oh. And then she goes, well, it says the AC's on. I was like, fuck. So then I went up to the grate, the where the cool air comes out, and it was nothing. It was warm air. Or no, it was nothing.
Not even
no movement. I was like, oh shit. So I walk outside and it's not even on. I was like, oh, fuck.
Did your heart just...
I was like, oh, fuck.
Have you had this sort of problem before?
No, but it's
not a good. It's not good.
No.
Okay.
So then I was like, the AC's not even on. So we flipped the breaker and flipped it back on, and then it came on. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But then it was hot air coming out of it, and I was like, fuck. So then I tried to let it run, and then it just shut off again. I was like, well, let's...
But it's tripping the breaker? Or
No.
Okay.
It was just one of those.
You were just, okay.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So then we're like, but it was like Sunday at 3 o'clock, so whatever.
Yeah,
so then on Monday, we had somebody come out in the evening, and so he opens it up. He's like, oh, okay. So he's like testing some stuff, and then he's like, okay, so he just casually is like, well, I figured out what the problem is. I was like, okay, it's your compressor. I was like, okay. And he's like, so he starts closing it back up. I was like, so...
Do you have one in the truck?
Yeah. I was like, so how much is that? He goes, they don't make compressors for this anymore like this. I was like...
Couldn't you fucking tell him, like, why do you have to ask for these?
I'm not a fucking AC guy. I would have fucking picked this myself. So...
I'm not an AC guy.
He was talking to me like I knew.
I know.
Like, okay. So...
If I knew what the fuck was going on, I would have called your ass.
Yeah. So is it going to be an hour or half an hour?
Yeah.
No, he's like, they don't even make these compressors anymore. I was like, fuck. And he goes, I mean, I could try to find one, like off of like a dead unit and put it on.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. He's like, but that's like $4,000. I was like, oh, for a compressor? He says,
for like
a used
how big
compressor?
Is this thing, like big as a watermelon or something?
I don't know. It's probably like a cucumber or something. I don't know. So
I'll show you.
So I was like,
I couldn't resist.
$4,000 for a used one? He goes, yeah, and even if I do that, he was like, your unit's so old, your coils could break. He starts going through these things. I mean, this and that. And he goes, and plus
he's fear mongering on you.
He goes, plus the refrigerant that you have like R22 or some shit, R2 or
it's
whatever.
illegal now?
Yes. He's like, you can't buy it after 2020. I was like,
you're going to stockpile illegal refrigerant in your garage?
I was like, fuck. I was like, okay. He's like, so.
How old's your house?
18 years old. So this.
Oh, 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. 2001.
Rip. Never forget.
So I was like, okay. I guess I have to replace the unit. And he's like, yeah. But also.
Oh.
The furnace is probably going to need to be replaced too. I was like, okay. He goes, with these kind of, he starts going through this whole thing. He's like, I bet you 9 times out of 10 with how old this is, I'm going to pull it up. There's going to be a crack in it. And I was like, okay. He's like, it's still going to heat and everything. I was like, all right. And he goes,
but you're just wasting a lot of.
He goes, it's going to leak a little carbon monoxide. He goes, not enough to set your detectors off, but it's enough you'll be breathing in. You get cancer, like, when you're later on in life, you don't replace it. I was like,
I'm sorry.
All right.
Any other good news, Doc?
Yeah, thanks. So then,
in fact, you probably already have cancer.
So then, that was I know. I get checked out immediately.
Right.
You might want to make an appointment.
I can play with your balls right now to see.
So I was like, okay, well, so I had to pay $100 for him to just open up my thing and tell me it's fucked, and then leave. So I was like, all right.
There's no stopgap. What part of the compressor went out? Like the motor or something? I don't even.
So somebody else came out just take a look.
You got a second opinion on this?
While they're doing a bid,
Okay, yeah. Smart.
He's like, well, the compressor is not completely out, but it's so weak that it may run for a couple minutes and then it'll just shut off.
I mean, so it's useless.
Yeah, basically it's done. So
you can heat a doghouse or something, or cool a doghouse down, maybe.
Maybe. So, so he's going through, and so we start getting bids, right? He's like, well, we'll start getting bids, and meanwhile, we are in the middle of hot August nights. So it's
been unseasonably hot this year, I would say, in the Sacramento Valley.
Actually, it's been.
How many days over hundo do you think you had this year? Dozen at least?
Yeah, I think it's actually not terrible. But right now we're in the middle of, being at.
Yeah.
It was 105 when I decided to go with the pool. So, inside the house, upstairs.
Where your bedroom is.
Where my bedroom is. I think it hit 100 degrees inside the house.
Inside the house.
Inside the house. Soap was melting. The soap was melting. Because
I honestly can't understand how it could get so hot in the house.
The sun, when it sets, it just beats straight
right
into the house, and it just heats up.
It's just trapped in there.
Yes.
And you have fucking enough fans going and the windows open and everything. It just doesn't.
So
I honestly
it was. So here's how bad it was. It was 95 degrees at like 8 o'clock at night. And I was like sitting outside. And I was sitting outside going, it feels so much better out here than inside.
It's 95 outside.
95 outside. And I walk
you
in
were
and
getting
it's like, it feels
reprieve.
like, I was like, oh. And there's no breeze. So it's not like, it's just basically, it's just.
Oh, yeah. That's
still
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. If it's 66, 67, and there's a breeze coming in, it feels nice when the windows are open and stuff. You weren't getting any of that.
No, not for the first 3 days. It was just. Like I was taking ice cold showers, just to get the body temp.
Now, what were all the kids protesting?
They tried. They said it's hot, and I told them, yeah, no shit. I mean, at that point, I was
right.
Everyone's a little hot, a little grouchy.
A little grouchy.
They said it's hot. It's no shit. I feel it too.
Now I know.
Get your fucking swimsuit.
There's a hotel. Yeah, you know that nice new pool we put in? Fucking jump in it.
Yeah, that's actually what I was doing for a little bit, just sitting in there until it was like, and I was like dreading, like, usually, when you're an adult, it's like, oh, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
Now I was like, it's fucking bedtime. I'm not going in. I don't want to go in there.
Now I would have popped the tent in the back or just thrown the sleeping bags out on the lawn.
I thought about it.
Or on the couch.
I thought
on the couch.
Like the floating like chair we have. I was like, I'm fucking sleeping on this.
Sleeping in the pool?
Yeah.
Man drowns, but somehow had a fucking sleeping bag and pillow on his floaty. Now, there is a hotel, like 5 minutes from your house, because we stayed there for whoever's bachelor party.
Dana's.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
But I mean, you it's not like it's just you and your wife going to go down there for a couple of nights. You got to load the whole fucking everybody up. And so, I mean, you probably would have to splurge for 3 or 4 rooms. Like,
do this. Allegedly, we do this thing where I just book, say it's 2 people, and then everyone just waits outside when I check in, and then we all just scramble in the room, and
that seems like a good idea. I'm not gonna.
And then I just leave it up to the kids to do rock paper scissors. Who's sleeping on the fucking floor, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, Like you're young, your joints can
fine.
handle.
I'm not sleeping on the floor, but you guys
No.
can.
I'm going to be a mom. No.
No.
Okay, so you got a couple bids. Now I don't know, like you, I'm not an AC guy.
I'm not an AC guy.
And I wouldn't have known a compressor cost 4 G's.
No, when he said that, I was like, oh, it was like a gut punch. And I was like, for a used one? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Is there like a pick and pull for air conditioners? You can just go and find the HVAC 720 and go in there with your fucking
I have no idea where to
set and undo
look. I have no idea where to look on that fucking thing.
No, you should go to your neighbor's house and fucking steal his out of that. And put your old busted one in there?
They got a whole brand new one, too. I was just going to wheel the whole thing. Like Homer Simpson when he steals Ned Flanders' AC.
Okay, so if a used compressor is costing
$4,000
a HVAC unit. Now, is that the big thing with that fan and it makes noise? Okay.
Now, we've gotten so many bids, and part of the sales pitch is they tell you how an AC works. I am now a fucking expert.
Educate me.
I'm a fucking expert.
Educate me. So what is, as you go up in dollars, I'm sure your range of bids, now don't spoil the price. I want to guess.
Okay.
Now, the range of bids is probably, I'm going to say there's probably $15,000 spread between your lowest bid and your highest bid.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the average.
Oh,
price,
no.
Which,
like your, not the median price, but the floor and the ceiling for your bids. I'm going to say that's about a $15,000 range.
From the high to the low, we're talking $30,000 difference.
Jesus. Now, that's okay. Now, you just sprung for the pool.
Yes.
So it's not like
of course. And I was like, of course. I just sprung for a pool, and of course this has to
It's
happen.
not like the certain saving account is like necessarily like over.
Yeah, it's not
cup
overflowing. It's not as plush as was January of 2019.
You mean you don't have a cool, Okay. So, did you, when you're asking for the bid, just so I can give my proper guess, did you say, give me this kind of same unit, but just give me the 20-year version, newest one? Or did you say, hey, actually, we want a more energy efficient one, or we want it to be able to push more?
So when we started, I said, I don't know.
You don't know what you want yet?
I want.
Okay.
Give me a range of options and plans, and we'll see. Let's work.
Give me
our
a
way
low,
through
medium, high. Okay.
Low, medium, high.
That's
what it does,
what
and then we'll work through it. So the first guy that came out.
Now, who do you call? Fucking Lowe's or Home Depot?
So we did call. So we went and called Lowe's and Home Depot.
Okay.
And the Home Depot guy came out first. Actually, he did come out first. And this guy came walking up, and he looked like he was coming from fucking Best Buy Geek Squad.
He had a polo shirt on and shit?
Yeah, and he had like his little laptop or his tablet or whatever.
Okay.
And
they're high tech these days.
And I remember thinking, maybe it was judgmental. I was like, this guy's he knows something about ACs? Huh,
right.
Kind of weird. So he remember walking up, and he says, okay, so what do we got here? And he's like, okay. He's like looking at it, and he's like, well, I mean, I don't really know what's going on upstairs in the attic. And I was like, well, I'll show you the access, because the AC unit actually goes, there's the actual part that cools and stuff. There's the thing in the attic.
It's in the attic.
Yeah, and I can.
So does that have to be replaced too? Or the whole fucking system?
So he's saying, basically, I'll just ruin that part. It's the whole fucking system. Because when they put it in, because I have a 2-story, and there's 2 zones, they put in when they slapped it up 18 years ago, basically it's just a 1-zone air conditioner. And the way they installed it upstairs in the attic is no longer legal.
Hold on. This is starting to sound a little expensive.
Yes. When he said that, I was like,
oh.
So he's like, because we have to get it. So, and each person said this, and I never, I always let them just divulge and I just see where the consistencies are.
Yeah. Very, very smart.
Every single person, it was 100% that says, we have to get it inspected. I can't leave it like that upstairs because then we will not pass inspection.
So now you have to get
the city has to inspect it and the state.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. And I have a quote unquote rooms that aren't permanent. Allegedly. I think I bought it that way.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. I
Okay, so now you have. So there's the big fan that we have outside of our thing, and then that blows up in the ducts. Up into the
kind of. So as is explained to me. You have
AC 101.
So you have like where you have your filter, right?
Yes.
So that actually sucks warm air from your house.
Okay.
Into a spot. Yours is probably in the attic too.
Okay.
Into a spot where it cools it down.
Oh.
So there's the refrigerant goes from the thing that's outside up through copper pipes, and it cools these little.
So it kind of like runs through a little refrigerator thing.
Yeah. So the refrigerant goes from your AC unit outside, and then it cools the thing. So then the air gets cold, and what's illegal is our ducts are connected to that part. And in reality, he says they shouldn't be connected to the refrigerant portion. It should be in
because the refrigerant
mixing box.
Could get out.
Yeah, so it should be in a mixing box out. So it should mix the cold air and then blow it. You have little gates that open and close as you need. And then it takes the hot air that it goes through, and basically, if you go outside, he says if you put your hand over
it'll be really hot. Yeah,
over the AC unit outside, it's taking the hot air from your attic and stuff and it's blowing it out. So also connected to that part is. Later on down the assembly line is your heater. So when it's not cold outside, it just passes through that and it goes through the heater portion.
And then the heater kicks it through the ducts.
Yeah. So either if it's cold, it'll hit the cold air and go through the ducts, or it'll hit the heater and go through the ducts. So it's either one.
And if it's just running the fan, it's just not doing anything.
It's just circulating
air.
Yeah.
So if in theory, if it's 60 degrees outside but 80 in your house, and you're just running fan, it will cool your house.
Yeah,
down.
it'll circulate. Okay. Yeah. So the Home Depot guy came out and was like, I don't really know what's going on upstairs. I don't really know what unit this is or what size.
Because he only got in the AC business 10 years ago probably. So
I don't know.
He wouldn't fucking know.
I don't really know the price. I mean, I have to look that up. May have to get somebody out here. I said, go home. Right? Because I was already just hot, I said, go.
Why did you come here if you don't know?
He's kind of like, well, I can get somebody. I said, no, go. Right? My wife hates it because she just looks at the floor. She looks at her feet.
She just wants to leave.
Yeah.
She wants to disappear into thin air.
Yeah. I said, go. No. If we're starting out this way, I can only imagine how the project's going to be. Go.
That's true.
So he had to take the walk of shame back to his car as I banished him from my backyard.
Did they try to call him and do good on you or anything?
I think they tried to call my wife, and
they're like, let's talk the reasonable
person. So she's told me, well, actually, they're going to send somebody out on Friday. I said, cancel it. I don't want those fuckers.
Cancel it. Well, and well, they didn't charge you for that one, did they?
No. But good. It was like some sort of like $50 this or that, or I to get some message and go home. No. So we're going to next appointment.
Home Depot didn't even get to bid you.
No.
Okay.
He got banished because he started, I don't know, and then I don't know, he started him and Han, and
then I don't know why you're here.
Yeah, so that's why I was like,
okay.
It was hot, and I had a long day at work, and then I walk into a hot room, and I was like, okay, that's it. Go.
The blood was already close to boiling. Okay. All right, you had a couple more bids out.
So then I had this company, Service Champions.
Okay. Is it a local to the Sacramento area?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Okay.
So he came out, and he was a nice guy, and he was
potential sponsor or not after this?
Not after this.
Okay.
So this is our first.
This is just your personal experience.
Yes.
It's not necessarily how they operate their business regularly.
Maybe it was this particular salesman. Nice enough guy. Goes through. He actually goes in the attic, takes a look, and takes pictures.
How fucking hot do you think it is in the attic?
So he came in. He came out of the attic, and he was dripping.
He was perspiring.
Yeah, he was dripping. So. He's all right. Let's go over some options. So he goes over and he says,
damn.
Yeah.
He has his handkerchief wiping his brow.
I said, hey, do you want a water? He's like, yeah, that'd be great. So I gave him water.
Can I get one of those beers actually?
Yeah. So he goes, all right. So then here's the shitty part. So you're always waiting for what is the price, right?
Yeah.
And he goes through his whole we use Linux and they're top of the line, blah blah. They have different.
Is he unfold a pamphlet? He's like,
he has an iPad. And
okay.
He's basically showing us this thing and going through it. I was like, okay. And basically he says now they have AC units that are variable speed, which means I have just a regular, you probably might have one, just turns on. He says now they have variable speeds, especially for a 2-story and a 2-zone. It'll turn on halfway to kind of get the temperature going. And then if it doesn't meet it, in a certain amount of time, it'll kick on.
It sounds like an energy efficient type of thing.
Yes. Okay. It says it kind of basically, they said your AC unit now is like driving. It turns on all the way, no matter if it's upstairs or downstairs. He says basically you put your foot on the gas and you go as fast as you can, and then you're trying to control your speed by slamming on the brakes. That's how the new one. It'll turn on and turn off, turn on, turn off, turn off. And yeah, it's kind of
that makes sense.
And he says that's why your compressor eventually gave out, because in reality,
you're just taxing it so much. Yes. Okay.
So you said you're going to probably need a variable speed, and blah 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 blah. I said okay. So we have this presidential package.
Oh,
and I was like,
that doesn't sound cheap.
I was like, well, just let me see what it is. So he's talking about, and you have to get a new furnace because it's all part of the thing. Because
it's the whole fucking kit. Are they trying to? Now, is like the new ductwork upsell, or
so
he
said
your shit,
everyone said your ducts are perfectly good. We're just replacing the unit inside the,
because the ductwork's the hard work.
Yes, he goes so
fucking slamming a new unit on the ground and bolting it into the ground's not.
Yeah, upstairs he said it's gonna be. Everyone said it comes in like 500 pieces, and they have to basically assemble the fucking thing upstairs
in the attic.
In the attic, I was like, okay,
rip.
Yeah, rip. So, he said you have to get a furnace and whatnot, and basically there's a switchboard that controls your thermostats and kind of how your thermostats be control it. He goes, you have to replace that because that's way too old and it's not good enough, and you have 2 zones and it's only set for 1 and blah, blah. Okay.
You're like, I don't know, dude. I got a Nest.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what.
So and here's the other thing, a bunch of these new AC units, Nests are obsolete.
Obsolete.
I was like, the Nest? He said, yeah, they don't really work well with the new units because
they're not so energy efficient or something, or
no, he said it's like they don't really work well with the new communication board because it's kind of there's somebody tried to do you need to do with Ecobee,
it's a different brand, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it was the same. He says they work better because they have sensors that kind of sense, hey, if you're up here, then then if there's motion, then they'll say, hey, if people are up here, and let's get the the air down.
Nest does have those. Okay. Actually, well, you could go like
my Gen 3s aren't good enough.
No, you can get little pods.
Okay.
And you like put one in your room, and you put one in the kids' room, and then one in the living room, and so that way it knows like up in your room if it's 60, 69.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
But in the living room it's 74. It will know what place to like push it to. Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
So they were saying that basically.
But that's interesting.
So he comes out and he says there's a presidential package, and he was telling me about this. It's like the air conditioner is 98% efficient, and
what's the other 2%? Where's it going?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know. So then he says your furnace. Right now he says you have an 80% efficiency for a furnace. He says which is fine.
Seems pretty good.
He says it's fine in California because it doesn't get like snowy outside, so it's not.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he's like, basically, but then he tried to pitch it as basically. Somebody later on told me that, but this guy was like, basically, if you have $1 and 80 cents of that dollar goes to your heating, and then 20 cents just goes away. So we're going to step you up to this 98% efficiency, blah, blah, fucking blah, right? And I was like, okay. So then the price.
Now, hold on. Now, was this your most, it sounds like it was possibly your most expensive bid you got.
Yeah, it happened to be the very first one, so it spoiled got to left a sour.
Okay. I am going to guess. I don't have any baseline. I'm going to say 35 grand.
That was their step down from this.
Oh, ouch.
$42,000.
42.
I'm like, his thing was on
a fucking BMW.
So I had to wipe my eyes because I was like, because he didn't have any commas. So I was like, does that say 4,200? He's like, no, 42,000
for labor.
Yeah, he's like 42,000. I was like. I started kind of laughing because it's like, okay, I said for what? And he's like, this is hospital grade equipment. It could purify a hospital. I was like, I don't think you've looked around here, but I'm not running a house, but I just want a house. It's just for a house, dude. He's like, I mean, it's energy efficient. He starts doing this whole.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, now I forgot to tell you this. Right before, right? So the Saturday before, the AC broke on Sunday. So on that Saturday,
yes,
Robin's lease was up on her car. So we traded it in for a
new one.
New one. Well, it was a Toyota Highlander.
Okay.
So we traded it in for a smaller one because people are...
The RAV4?
No. We went with the Lexus. So actually it was interesting because the Lexus that we got was cheaper than the
current lease because it's a little smaller because she's not driving so many kids.
A little smaller, and they, it wasn't like the fucking limited bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Shit,
right, yeah.
But it's,
okay.
So when he's like, $42,000, I was like, I said, dude, the fucking car in the driveway is less than that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can go down a package. I said, yeah, let's see what that is.
Right.
It was $36,000. I said,
and then what's the downgrade? Like what
just
do you...
some unit or whatever. It was just, it wasn't the fucking.
So this
90s.
Isn't like, hey, your house is 2,500 square feet. This one can cool. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This one can cool 4,400. And it'll freeze your dick off if you're not careful.
Well, and I said,
or
is this fucking thing for run? Is it gonna be free to run? For 42,000, is it just gonna be just so efficient? It's just gonna be free.
And you'll make your money back in 2 decades.
That's what he's like. No, I was like, okay. I said, what if I just wanted to get the unit outside, set up the furnace and all that shit? He goes, yeah, we could try it. We can look at that. 20,000. I was like, for the unit? For the unit. And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, thank you. All right. And he's like, well, I mean, if you sign up right now, we can get you installed, And I said, okay, nope, we're good. I'll sit in the heat. See it.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he's still trying to say, I'll tell you what, give me your card and I'll call you when my wife and I discuss it. Oh, okay. So throw the card away. So then somebody actually came out later that night. Right after that. 'Cause this was this was at like 3 or...
So you had them lined up, these people.
Lined up. So the next guy comes out. And he walks to the door. And now it's like, actually it was 7 o'clock at night.
Okay. So still light.
It's dusk. Yeah, and it's still 96 fucking degrees in my house. And I just had Mr. 42,000 leave a couple hours earlier. So then he comes through and I said, he's like, hey, how you doing? It's just usual. And I said, okay.
I'm going to stop you right here.
I just want to tell you right now. He said, yeah. I said, I just got a bid for $42,000. And he's like, what? I said, if you're going to give me some shit like that, then don't waste my time and get back in the fucking car. He's like, wait a minute. 42,000? I said, that's why I'm telling you, if you want to start pulling it, and don't even come at fucking 38
presidential package.
Yeah, I said, I want to be cool, but I'm not buying a fucking car or luxury. I'm not buying an Audi.
Vehicle,
I'm not buying an Audi. I said, he's like, okay, no. I said, he's like, you won't see nothing like that from here. And I was like, oh,
okay,
all right, then proceed.
What are you, the fucking Mac Frugals, the AC units? What's going on here?
Well, he came through and he says it was gonna be like 18,000 for him.
Okay, that seems more reasonable.
I was like, oh, okay. And at first I was like, oh, okay. He's like, and we can get you in like tomorrow, right? Well, then it didn't really happen. So we got another bid coming through, and so we had. So
what's the difference? Why the nearly $30,000 difference?
Well, so we get to this. So we had a whole bunch of bids. I'll tell you.
Okay,
so we had a whole bunch of bids.
Okay.
And it was like, this is the Linux, blah, blah, blah. So it depends on who you carry. So at first, then I had this one guy, some old guy, come over, and he was going to do it. He was going to do it for like $13,000. I was like, okay. And he's going to do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, actually, I might go with him. But we had one more guy to come through.
Yeah.
He was actually through Costco, because my wife's like, I was out shopping at Costco, and I saw the person there.
They always ask you that shit when you're leaving.
Yeah, I know. Usually I'm like, fuck, come on.
Solar?
Yeah.
Solar?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm rent.
AC? I'm always like, But now, she's like, hey, they stopped me. I said, bring them on down.
Yeah.
Why not? So he came, the last guy, he was the last bid, and he comes through and with the Linux.
Can you put it on your 4% return on your Costco card?
Yes.
Ooh,
so what happens is,
I like this already.
So I was like, I told my wife, I said, we're going to, right now it's the old guy. And I forget his whatever.
Now, are you I know you're price conscious, but are you looking for the lowest bid? Or are you looking for kind of like a sweet
at
spot?
first it was the lowest bid, but then I was like, well, because as I was talking to the Costco guy that came out, it's actually Costco. It's a company, but Costco kind of sponsors them.
Okay.
Which, if you know anything about Costco, if you get
they don't bringing
they don't
bullshit.
fuck around.
Yeah.
If you get so many complaints, like a percentage, then you're tossed.
Gone. Yeah.
So he comes out and he's like, we only do Linux units.
So the same as presidential guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a bunch of companies, it's either Linux or Train was basically those are the two companies that did AC. So it's like, okay.
They make the physical, the hardware.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And basically he goes through, and he was a pretty good salesman because he was talking about, and it's funny because each person has like their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Like,
And do they know that you've heard the same pitch like 6 different times?
This guy, I said, when he started, let me tell you, I said, okay, hold on. You're like my 6th bid. I could probably tell you how the goddamn thing works. Just give me the price. He starts laughing. He's like, I can respect that. I was like, yeah, I don't want to. I'm not sitting here. I don't want to sit on edge and listen to appease your fucking story and how it works. Just give me the price.
Yeah.
So he, each person, it was pretty funny because they said, well, because, we have they call them registers, like the grates that spew out. So we have the ones
inside.
on
Yeah.
if you notice them, they're like kind of like, some of them are like on the wall.
Uh-huh.
He goes, each person came out and was like, those aren't the right grates for a wall. Those are for the ceiling. It's supposed to be in a corner and blow out. That's just blowing down into your floor. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, when they
what about those over there, sir?
Yeah, that's right. That's
okay.
But mine's up high and it's pointing down. It's louvered down.
So you would get cool if you just stood right under it?
Which is what I used to do. I was just stand there, just like air out my pits, and
So you want it to blow out?
Out. He said basically when they put it through track homes, it is buy one thing and just slap them up and fuck it. I was like, oh, great.
Oh, they're like, we need 5,000 great units.
And we're not going to buy special ones for
this.
Fucking just slap them up there. They're not going to know the difference. So I was like, okay. So he's like going through his thing, and he goes, no, I'm just going to do what's, this guy's like, hey, I'm just going to do what's right for your house. I don't really want to sell you. I said, don't sell me the fucking presidential package of the hospital grade shit. He's like, okay. And I said, actually, because you sell the Linux and I see you have the signature packages, when we're done with this, I want to know what you would sell me that presidential package for. And he goes, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Because I just had to know. So he's like, all right. So then we go through the whole thing. And actually, so the lowest bid was like $13,000.
Whatever, yeah.
So he said the same thing. Hey, I got to do this. I got to do that. I said, yeah, I know. So he goes, okay. And he was actually $1,800 more than that guy.
Okay. So 15-ish or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, okay. But you get a rebate from SMUD, because we have SMUD, which is Sacramento Municipal's utility division, whatever the fuck it is. Anyway. Was our energy. He goes, they give you a $1,500 rebate for upgrading your...
Did anyone else bring that up?
Yeah, so the old guy said you get $1,500. Some of the other people said $500. So they're
interesting.
Eliminated.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, 15? He's like, yeah. I was like, whoever those are, throw their fucking shit away. Don't call them back. So, and he goes, and actually, we're the only company that PG&E, because PG&E gives us our gas. We don't. So SMUD does our electricity, and PG&E does our gas.
Yeah.
So he says, and we're the only company that has starred to actually give you PG&E rebate for $1,000. I was like,
oh, double dip.
I was like, okay. So the $1,800, and now we're like $800 over. Okay. He goes, and Costco is going to give you a 10%. Or whatever. It wasn't even 10% because he said basically you did the math. He's like, well, yeah, it was 10% because he discounted the shit out of it. Basically, we're going to get $2,300 cash card to Costco.
Like a gift card.
Yes.
For a new 75-inch TV.
That's why he goes. He goes, I noticed you don't have any TVs in your bathroom. I was like, we will after this, right? And then you get your 4%.
Your wife's just shaking her fucking head.
Yeah, she was shaking her head. So then we get the 4% on top of that, and I was like,
what? Wow.
Okay.
Like,
I was like,
you have Cerny's attention.
I was like, well, I said, we still need to talk. And he's like, well, what's differentiate? I said, we just need to talk, my friend.
Right.
Pretty
I'm not
sure.
going to give you a yay or nay.
I don't
want to
say. I don't want to step out of line because usually because sometimes I'll be like yes, and then Robin's like whoa,
Well,
you know. So I was like I don't want to. I'll leave your number.
Mm-hmm.
I'll text you either way. I'll text you yay or nay. All right, I promise. He's like okay. So then,
a lot of value add on this bid.
Yes, and then before he left, I said, "Oh, wait, let me know what that present package."
Yeah,
and he goes, for this and that, he's like, it'd be like 28,000. I was like,
So the dude trying to get a fucking
and I said,
$14,000 taste for himself.
And I said, well, it's interesting because I had, service whatever it was, and I said, they tried to charge you 42, and he's like, huh, it makes sense. And I was like, makes sense.
What do you mean?
Explain it.
Yeah, right.
I said, besides him walking into a 100-degree house and thinking that I was fucking desperate, he goes, no, that's exactly what he was doing. He walked in.
Thought he had you by the balls.
He walked in and thought, whoa, these people are hot and they're desperate. So I'm going to try to charge them as much as I can. He goes, because in the wintertime, he'll undercut me.
Interesting.
I was like, okay.
Now, when's this getting installed? You went with Costco?
I did.
How far booked out were they?
Like a week and a half or something like that, which is...
Now
most everybody was like, hey, I'm like a month out because everyone there's a lot of people.
September,
which is
October.
So it's like September. So basically for the rebates, for us to get the rebates, we have to be installed by September 21st because Smud PG&E changed them.
Oh shit. You better fucking get on that.
Yeah, he said basically I'll book you in. He goes, even if we have, for whatever reason,
you just pay the invoice at the
and he says then actually I wouldn't even pay the invoice until they do it. He said, but we'll submit everything prior.
Oh.
And then if even it's October 2nd or whatever, it won't be a big deal. I said, okay. That's because I told him I was paying him up front.
Wow.
It's the worst thing you do.
This, I mean, I feel like an AC expert right now.
Oh, it was. But
this, 20 grand is a fucking grip still, though. That must have hurt to
it hurts.
Get that going.
It hurts.
But all those rebates will be nice.
Yeah.
Once you get that new TV.
Oh yeah,
dude, that 10,000 or 2,500 Costco card, that's groceries for a couple months.
Yeah, Rob's like, we got like 5 months covered. And I was like, whoa,
we need some beer for the show.
Yeah. I'm gonna need something to drink and something.
Now, how is your interesting? Well, I'm happy it got resolved.
Yes. Well, when it gets installed,
when it gets resolved.
So right now, the tactic is like so. It's been 105, but the last few days it's been a little cooler, right?
At
so
night
it was like,
or something?
Yeah. So all the windows are open. I have box fans in the window, basically trying to draw the cold air in, trying to get the temperature like as low as possible.
Yeah.
Like the other night, my wife's like, "It's kind of cold in here." I was like, "Fucking, we gotta bring it. We're bringing it down as low because I'm trying to."
You shut your mouth.
Don't you ever feel like that again?
Blackout curtains, I guess you can do all that stuff. But like that's just, I mean, you're spending money for a next, couple weeks now at this point.
Yes.
Okay. So as long as it's not 100 during the day, you're probably
Which it was
decent.
today. That's why it's 85 in the house right now because it got up to like 90 or whatever because it was 100.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I'm getting pretty good at like, so I have the window open and then when it's around noon, I like run upstairs and like I leave the windows open, but I close the blinds and like put the fan down so it still blows the air. It's just a fucking...
You got your system.
I got a lot of extra work.
Yeah. You're like not putting like 10 foil in the windows to like reflect the sun back away.
I thought about it. I thought getting those car things that people the window the windshield shades
like the
or
inside
whatever.
of the Millennium Falcon or whatever. Like people anyway. Well.
Sorry. I heard it.
That was a good story.
It's
been
miserable.
I'm glad I had. Do you think standing up in that room we'd be
sweating? So a lot of these bids, I had to come home from work.
Yeah.
And take a bid and then work from home, and that's where I have to sit in.
Oh boy.
And I was just like I changed like 2 shirts because I was just sweating and I was like sitting there typing angrily, like
feverishly typing. Oh my word!
Get a shitty email and I'm like,
well, it's nice and cool here. I'm glad you can enjoy it.
It feels nice and comfy. I'm soaking it in.
If you're sweating through your shirt, and you wanted a Chip and Cern Show shirt, where would you go, Cerny?
You can go to chipandcernshow@gmail.com, or I believe Teespring.
That's true.
You can search Chip and Cern Show and get a nice custom tee. But if you just want a sticker, you can email us or at chipandcernshow@gmail.com, or just reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yes.
Anything Chip and Cern Show, we will respond.
Post
haste.
Absolutely. And if you have any AC cooling tips for Cerny, whilst his AC's out, send those along.
Send them.
Probably via Twitter would be best.
That'd be great.
I would say. And until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.